This is Irontrader, and this is Midday Trading. So we're going to take a look here at today at Boeing, at GM, Ford, StarBucks, and at Disney. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, first on the docket here we have Boeing. Okay, so let's take a look here. See what we got. Now, here, look at the daily chart. You can see here what we're looking at is 235.27. We made a little bit higher high today at 235.65. Okay, now, again, if we can break above that, then all we have to do is go to this weekly chart and we'll see where the scenario is. Okay, so we had this gap. See where the top of this gap is? Okay, that's 233 at 85. And then we look to the bottom of that gap at 243 level, okay? So what we're really watching here now, if you can break this 235.65 level, we're looking for this gap fill right here at that 243 level, okay? That's looking very, very nice. Then we'll come over the top of this candle here. We're looking at pretty much the same thing, 234.10. We'll come up there at the top of there. You're looking at 244.70. And then we'll look here to the bottom of a candle. You're looking at 257.68. And then we have 258.59. We'll come to the top there, 264.66. Then we have a nice retest there of 267.54. But I say always watch these gaps in this fill. So now we're right here. We're above that gap, and now we're getting into the gap. So if we have any kind of good numbers here coming out here on these earnings, we should be able to come right here and to the bottom of that candle at that 243 level is going to be your target. Okay. Now, here on the downside, well, what we always want to do is want to go right to the left of the chart. You want to hold that 233.61 level. Then we want to come down to the bottom here at this 8-day actually at 231. Let me big this up here, make it a little more clearer for you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, then we're looking here at that 231.28. And then we want to look to the bottom of the candle at 228.84. And then we'll come here at 225.55. And then we have this 21 day sitting at 224.72. Now, again, if we lose that, we want to look to the left of the chart here because that was the breakout at 218.80 level. We have another candle up here. We're looking at that 215.80. And then we're looking here at that 213.63 is your 50-day. But now you can see how strong this has been. The RSI here, we're like to that overbought scenario here. But again, looking very, 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 very strong. The same way here, the green is over your red. This is looking very, very strong. And even look on this weekly chart. We're not to an overbought situation there yet. The green is over your red. But again, if you can break up here, always look to that fill level here now. You're looking at 243 is going to be your target. And then we could rally as high and retest that high at 267.54. Okay, let's take a look here now at GM. All right, here we have General Motors stock. Okay, now again, as far as like these EVs and these subsidies, remember they're going to be coming off here at the end of September. Okay, so that $7,500 credit is going to put a killing on a lot of these if you're trying to sell an EV car. Okay, Tesla has other stuff going for it. Matter of fact, I'm in the trade right now. You got to figure it got as low as 315.69. I got a little late. I'm in there at 318 flat, and you're sitting at 327 now. I'm looking to get 10 points out of it. I got 8 points on Friday. Now Tesla, he's selling notions down at the old bridge down there, at the pier, I should say. However, he just signed a deal with Samsung, okay, to make these chips for him, $16 billion deal. So again, see, he's working as like a circus monkey here. But GM, I don't know what they're going to do with like the EVs, and they just got to be trying to sell the regular vehicles. We have to see how that shakes out. But the stock is kind of like a go nowhere. I don't know. It just isn't my kind of stock. However, I think you could make a little bit of money off of this. But the key is going to be right here. Just watch that price channel at 54.30. That's going to be very, very key. If we can get above that, then we just look right to the top of the next candle. You're looking at 55.06. And then we'll come right up here. We're looking at 56.99. You have 58.32. We'll come to the left there at 59.39, and then we have 61.24. The risk reward just isn't really anything that great. However, when you look at this chart here, see how we have a left shoulder, we have a head, and we have a right shoulder. Okay, so we got an inverse head and shoulders pattern here that could possibly take this higher. We have to see. Now, on the downside, you want to watch that 52.63. Then we want to watch that 52.38 level. Then we come down here at 50.32, and then we have your 200-day all the way down here at 50.11, and then we have a 100-day at 48.65, which has been holding very, very nicely. So realistically, what you want to watch is just watch that 54.30. We break above it, then we just go to the left of the chart, and we just follow all the way up until we stop. Okay, now RSI here, not really looking too bad. You got 57, plenty of room to run. The green looks like it's curling up. But again, this is kind of like a slow kind of a mover situation. Now, here we look at the weekly chart. Well, we got to break above everything. But again, you can see where the 8-day crossed the 21-day, the 50-day, and it's moving up here nicely. Okay, so what you really want to watch then, I say again, is just watch that price channel. That's going to be very key, that 54.30 level. Okay, so that was right on top of that candle. That was last week's candle. Then we can come right to your next level at that. What do we got here? We got that 55.06, and then we can just ramp it right on up here. Now again, this here is 60. You got plenty of room to run if it wants to go. The green is over your red. So overall, it's really not looking that bad of a chart, kind of a situation. You know what I'm saying? We had that sideways action, came down, and we had a really nice, good run up. But realistically, not my kind of trade. But again, if you're trading GM, I'd be just a little bit patient with this. Okay, let's take a look here now at Ford. Okay, here we have Ford. Now, again, I have lost all interest. I had the big interest when they had Alan Mulally run the company. He came from Boeing. Okay, he took $1 for a paycheck, but he took stock options. That stock got as low as $1.21, I remember. And I was in there, I think it was right around $1.50 area, and it ran all the way up to 22 bucks, okay? So that was a really, really good trade. Since then, these CEOs that they have in there, it just, I don't know. I don't think they really have a clue on what they're doing, or like what the Ford family is kind of trying to do here, okay? They're trying to sell these EV trucks for $100,000. I don't really kind of see how this is all going to shake out. Prices are just keep going higher. They keep giving the union guys more money and more money and more money. I don't know what the end game is. Go to a car lot and you can buy a truck for $200,000. You know what I'm saying? Something's going to have to give somewhere. But anyway, as a trader, the stock is shit. Okay, you got to just face reality. You had a low of 844 and a high of 1197. Come on. This is nothing that you want to really be in. But I want to just show you because the earnings are coming here. So let's just see what they have here. Okay. So what is his name? His name Chris Farley. Yeah, he's a Chris Farley, right? I don't think he's got a clue on how to run a company. I just don't see what's going on here. Okay. So on the downside, watch that 21-day 1144. Watch that 8-day 1128. Then we come down to the bottom here. You're looking at 1108. Here we're looking at 1105. Then we have a 1087. We come down here to a 1038, and then we have your 1033 level, which is your 200-day. Now on the upside here, what we're really watching is, bottom line, is we're watching that 1197, that breakout. Okay, so that's going to be very, very key. We got to get really back above that kind of a situation, but there's really nothing. You got a downtrending chart going on here. There's really nothing here that's really say, that's great. Now again, if you get above that line at 1197, then we can look for the 200-day here at 1287, and then you could possibly run it right up here, top of that candle. You're looking at 1395. We come up here, you're looking at 1485, and then we look here at that 1542, and just work it right on up to 1668, and maybe get higher. But I don't see where this is going to be going any higher. Now, there's if you're looking for trades, one of my favorite trades is Ferrari, RACE. That's one of my best trades, and just scalping and trading Tesla. Okay, not to say you got to go there and you got to buy Tesla, because I don't really have a whole lot of belief. I think he's selling notions, kind of a situation. However, it's a meme stock, and it's always in play. It's got big volume. It's got big movement. So I just scalp whatever I can, just get out of it. I just look at it like today, get my 10 points out of this whole set. Matter of fact, I think I just rung off here. Yeah, I did ring off. I got my 10 points there out of Tesla. I got in late at 318, got as low as 315.69. I just clicked out at 328. So I'm out of the trade now. Okay, so that was a good 10-point trade there on Tesla. Then I'll just wait and see what else happens with it. But as far as Ford go, just take a look at what the earnings are going to be. But I don't see anything kind of a great situation. We look at what we happened to pass. It dumped off here. Okay, we had the earnings here, and then it dumped off. We had earnings here last time, went up a little bit, and then dumped off. I don't see anything here like with the Ford. But again, if you're trading it, maybe you have a good dividend, something like that. Okay, let's take a look here now at StarBucks. Okay, here we have StarBucks. Now the earnings are coming out, I believe, tomorrow morning here, or tomorrow after the close, I think that is. Yeah, I haven't been in Starbucks in a long time. I really don't find their coffee at $6-7 really anything that good. Okay, so I don't get it. And it's very, very hard. You're paying your employees. I understand you have to keep people. You have to pay employees. I get that. But, it's very difficult to go there and pay $5-6 for a cup of coffee, an average person. If you add that, if you did that every day, hell, why don't you just go get yourself a Ninja coffee bar like I got? I can make anything, any kind of a coffee that you want. Like a cappuccinos, mochas, whatever you want. I can do it right there, and it cost me $99 for the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I've had it now for like 5 years. It works awesome. But anyway, if you like the Starbucks, I haven't been in here in a long time, but let's just take a look at what their past was. Okay, so we ran up a little bit and then it came right on down. We had a nice good run up, then she fell off. Here we had a decent run up here, but I'm not really expecting a whole lot from them, but we got to see how that all shakes out. So let's just take a look at the old charts here, okay? So what you're looking at here is we're looking at that 200-day at 95.38 level. Realistically, what you really want to watch is that 98 18 level and see what the reaction is if it can get all up to that area. If you can, then we can just bring this right across here. We're looking for the top of that candle at 99.92 level. And then we can just work these candles all the way up here until we start getting, even like in this area at that 110 level, 117 level. But again, we got to see how this all shakes out. But if people cut back on spending, this will probably be one of the first things that they're going to be cutting back on. Okay. So, matter of fact, I like Dunkin' coffee, and actually McDonald's coffee is actually really good too. But anyway, we take a look here at the weekly chart. Okay, so this is really, I don't know, it just is the chart has a low, higher low, and higher low situation, but it just chops city. I just don't see where you're just going to get this big, huge rally and people are going to come on with kind of, and I think the growth is pretty much done kind of a situation. Now you look on a daily on the RSI here, well, you're 55, that has plenty of room to run. You got sideways action going here. On your weekly, your green is over your red, so it shows momentum there to the upside, but it's just nothing really here to like say, I'm going to have a big gain on this. I think you're way better off if you want to get into something like that. Get into NVIDIA, get into Meta, Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, trade Tesla, do whatever you got to do here. I think is a lot better than what you got going on here with the old Starbucks. But if you're in this and you say, oh, I really like the Starbucks trade, then just really watch that 98.18 level. Now, on the downside here, watch that right there, 94.45. 94.06 level. That is your 21-day, and then we come to the bottom here at 92.31. Then what we have here, we have 99 level, and then we have 90.59 is your 50-day, and then we can just keep on ratcheting down until you get down to your 75 level there, okay? But let's just see how right now we have a pretty good run here off of last earnings, so let's just see how those earnings all going to shake out. Okay, last one I look at here, we're going to take a look here at Disney. Okay, now here Disney had a really good run here. Okay, so this is where they had all those issues going on. Came right on down to about $80. It actually was a really good buy. You can see where the earnings came out. It popped right on up here very nicely. The earnings before that were there, gapped right on up very, very nicely. This earnings here, it kind of rose up here, almost pulled like a double top, and then came right on down. But this is a lot of times when the market was selling off here. So actually, this chart is actually not looking really that bad. And you look at the weekly, we're sitting at the bottom where you could really have a nice, good room, move all the way to the upside. So what we're watching on the upside here is you're looking at 121.55 level, and then we have this 121.67. Okay, we get above that, we'll come right to the top of there at 123.18 and 124.69 level. Okay, so actually this chart is looking pretty good. Now, if this starts selling off here, we want to watch that 50-day. That's going to be very, very key, 117.86. And then we just follow the price channels down. You got 115.02 level. We come down here to the bottom. You're looking at 111.84. And then we come to here, you have 110.52, and so on all the way down here to your 110.15 level. Now, again, we have this gap right here, okay? See this? The low of that is 108.66. There's your gap. And then we have that fill at 106.19. So we have a gap and fill, and we have another gap down here, okay? So you have 91, there's your gap. And then we have this fill here at 92.74. And at the bottom right there, you're looking at 91, okay? So, no, that can't be right. Yeah. What am I looking at here? Yeah, okay. So we have another gap when we have a fill, another gap when we have a fill. So again, if this does get hammered, we lose that 50-day and that 100 and that 200-day, we could come down to these gaps in this fill here very, very easily, kind of a situation. So you just wanted to, I'm sorry about that. That was 114. I was looking at the one, okay? That's 114 is your gap. And then we looked at the top of that candle at 92.74. So your gap and your fill all the way down here. But again, you can see here we got to like an overbought situation. And now we're kind of like a sideways action. But let's just see how this all just shakes out. But again, this has plenty of room to run to the upside. Okay. So again, if you look at the weekly, you have 124.69. Now, if we can break above that, that's why I like these price channels here. Okay. See where we had the top of this here, your next level is going to be 126.48. And then we just bring that price channel right across. You got 133 level. Then we come right across here. You got 144 level. And then we come all the way up there to the top of that candle, 157. So again, this is why I like these blue lines. Are just price channels. They're tops and bottoms of candles. But as it's selling off, it leaves all your resistance levels on the other side, so you know exactly where you're going to go up here. Now, I just wish Disney would just stay out of the politics and all this nonsense. Just focus on your theme parks. Focus on your, your ESPN. Focus on all that kind of stuff here. Okay, just run your business. Forget about the politics, all that kind of crap. Okay, you'll be way farther ahead. All you have to do is look at these companies like Target, at Budweiser, and all that kind of stuff. Just sell your product. Okay, just stay neutral. That's all you have to do. Say, hey, this is what it is. We don't talk about policy. We don't do nothing. We sell a product, and that's it. So they have really, really good theme parks. Okay, so just enjoy that. ESPN, all this kind of stuff. As I say, just stay out of the politics, and just and your stock would be much, much higher if you actually did that. Okay, so on the upside here, again, we're just watching that 121.55 and that 121.67, but realistically, you're watching that breakout 124.69. If we crack above that, then we just follow these candlesticks all the way up. Downside, watch that 50-day, very, very key. We have that gap fill all the way down. If we start losing that 50-day and that 100 and that 200 SMA here. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here after the pit close. We'll take a look there at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, and we'll take a look here at the old indexes, which are moving up here. Not too bad here today, okay? But now remember, big earnings coming out here, okay? Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. A lot of good stuff here coming up this week here. So let's just see what the reaction is going to be. The Fed's going to meet this week here. So let's just see how this is all going to shake out here. But don't have no opinion. Your markets are at the very, very top. It isn't going to take much for this to come right on down again here. So just be very, very cautious and use stops. Money in your pocket. That's the key. Just like I traded Tesla, okay? Yeah, I got my 10 points. Boom. I don't care if it goes higher. I don't care if it goes lower. I got 10 points in my pocket, okay? That's how you trade consistent money. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.